Hello and welcome to Dinar Shift. The attention of the entire global financial community, and perhaps more intensely, the community of Iraqi dinar holders, has recently zeroed in on one of Iraq's most venerable and powerful institutions, Al-Rafidain Bank. The digital whispers and online conversations have escalated dramatically, fueled by what many believe are significant, potentially foundational, movements within the country's financial architecture. For those who have maintained a steady focus on Iraq's economic recovery and the future status of its national currency, the current climate is charged with anticipation. The fundamental question driving all this renewed discussion is whether the recent activities, particularly involving the bank's operational changes and system upgrades, signify the beginning of a long-awaited process, specifically an event often referred to as a revaluation, RV. This term, though unofficial in nature, captures the hope that the Iraqi dinar could soon reflect a far greater value on the international stage. A prospect that has kept this community engaged for years through numerous economic and political cycles. This growing scrutiny isn't without cause, as Al-Rafidain Bank holds a monumental position within the Iraqi economy. Established long ago, it represents not only a historical fixture, but also a vital artery for the nation's financial flow, serving millions of citizens and managing crucial government transactions, including salaries and pension disbursements. Therefore, any major internal change, whether related to digital banking, international compliance, or currency processing, sends an immediate and powerful signal across the entire financial world. When an institution of this magnitude starts implementing what appear to be sweeping infrastructural and technological improvements, observers naturally begin to ask what future environment these changes are designed to support. The current speculation is specifically tied to reports suggesting that the bank may be issuing notifications, which some interpret as initial steps in preparing its systems and customer base for a major currency-related adjustment. It is absolutely crucial, however, to anchor this conversation in factual, verifiable information. Despite the high level of communal excitement and the proliferation of claims across social platforms, it must be stated clearly that no official confirmation has been issued by Al-Rafidain Bank, the Central Bank of Iraq, CBI, or the Iraqi government regarding an immediate revaluation of the dinar. The narrative remains based on observing tangible progress within the banking sector and interpreting the intent behind these observable changes. Nevertheless, the intense focus on these developments underscores a deep-seated confidence that real structural improvements are taking root. This confidence is sustained by the observable progress in modernizing Iraq's financial sector, a process that is widely viewed as a necessary precursor for any long-term strengthening of the currency's value and international standing. The dedication of dinar holders across the globe has been a consistent factor in this ongoing saga, characterized by remarkable patience through periods of intense uncertainty. Their initial hope was often rooted in the undeniable economic fundamentals of Iraq, a nation blessed with vast natural resources, particularly oil, which remains a key commodity in the global market. The long-term vision has always been predicated on Iraq's ability to successfully leverage this immense wealth and, crucially, to fully integrate its financial system into the modern global banking network. Institutions like Al-Rafidain and Al-Rashid banks are seen as barometers of this progress. Any advancement they make in areas such as digital integration, cross-border payments, or compliance with global regulatory standards immediately translates into increased optimism for the future of the dinar, as it signals a strategic move toward full economic normalization. Al-Rafidain Bank, dating back to 1941, commands a network of branches both within Iraq and abroad, giving it an unparalleled scope and influence. When the Iraqi government or the central bank mandates major policy updates concerning currency operations or exchange procedures, Al-Rafidain is invariably at the forefront of implementation. This institutional role means that even routine or necessary upgrades to infrastructure, such as the adoption of new, robust banking software, enhanced cybersecurity protocols, and sophisticated digital verification systems, are viewed through a heightened lens. For the dinar community, these are not just administrative changes, they are concrete demonstrations that the Iraqi financial system is actively preparing for a future state. This future state is broadly interpreted as one where the national currency is more stable, more resilient, and ultimately operates with greater respect and flexibility on the international stage. The modernization efforts currently underway are multifaceted and appear to be accelerating at an impressive pace. The key elements include significant investments in technology designed to meet stringent global financial standards, which is a clear prerequisite for any nation seeking to operate smoothly in global capital markets. While these preparations do not in themselves guarantee a sudden, dramatic shift in the exchange rate, they are highly indicative of a strategic, long-term commitment to financial independence and strength. The logical connection that many investors draw is that advanced systems, capable of handling complex exchange mechanisms and supporting new regulatory environments, suggest the planning for a dramatically different future. This systematic preparation is seen as fundamentally necessary because any financial institution would require extensive groundwork, system testing, and policy coordination to execute a major currency shift successfully. The importance of this system preparedness cannot be overstated. Financial history shows that major currency adjustments are rarely spontaneous events. They are the result of meticulous planning that occurs internally within the key financial institutions well before any public announcement. Therefore, the heightened activity and continuous technological upgrades at Al-Rafidain Bank are interpreted as significant indicators of this internal planning process. It reinforces the community's belief that while the process may be lengthy and deliberate, the necessary foundations are being laid. The rising confidence is not merely based on vague hope, but on the tangible evidence of financial institutions committing substantial resources to readiness. However, reiterating the essential caution, while confidence is rising based on visible development, the official confirmation of a revaluation process has yet to materialize from any authoritative source. Stepping back to examine the broader economic context further supports the narrative of deliberate progress. Iraq has been actively engaged in comprehensive reforms aimed at increasing the transparency and stability of its financial environment. These efforts include close collaboration with international bodies, notably partners like the U.S. Federal Reserve, to combat illegal financial activities, such as the unauthorized smuggling of dollars. By enforcing strict traceability for transactions and improving the internal processes of the Central Bank of Iraq, the nation is restructuring its financial system to meet the rigorous demands of the global community. Such reforms, focused on legal compliance, security, and economic resilience, are foundational steps that any nation must take to earn the sustained trust required for a stronger, more internationally accepted currency. The link between a nation's strengthening economy and the value of its currency is a fundamental economic principle. Iraq, through these measured, strategic reforms, is actively building the groundwork for a more robust economy. This intentional construction, one step at a time, is why the progress is so closely monitored by those who have held the Iraqi dinar for years. For many long-term holders, this investment is imbued with a deeper meaning. It represents a belief in Iraq's potential to fully recover and re-establish itself as a major global economic force after decades of struggle. Therefore, any perceived movement toward a currency adjustment is seen as a symbol of national recovery, recognition of Iraq's true wealth, and the fulfillment of a commitment to rebuilding. This profound emotional connection is why the dinar community remains highly energized and focused on even the smallest hints of progress. Every policy update, every bank announcement, and every technological upgrade is perceived as contributing to a powerful, albeit slow, momentum. The collective belief is that their patience and sustained faith in Iraq's potential will eventually be validated. Regardless of the exact timeline for a currency shift, the objective reality is that Iraq is unequivocally moving in a positive, powerful direction, modernizing its systems and integrating further into the global economic structure. This directional progress is undeniable and is the main driver of optimism within the community. The continuous focus on banks during RV speculation is entirely logical. A change in currency value is an operational event before it is a political one. It requires banks to update their core systems, recalibrate their exchange rate mechanisms, verify customer accounts against new standards, and achieve absolute digital readiness. Therefore, when major financial institutions invest heavily in costly upgrades and modernization, the immediate question from the investment community is, what long-term change are they preparing their infrastructure to accommodate? Financial institutions are not known for wasting significant time or resources on upgrades without a clear, financially beneficial objective on the horizon, further fueling the idea that the internal systems are being readied for a change in operational scale and complexity. Timing is another key consideration. Iraq is currently experiencing increased integration into the international economy, evidenced by growing foreign investment, oil sales, and new trade agreements. A significant national priority for Iraq is the desire to reduce reliance on the US dollar for internal and foreign trade, and to instead boost the use and demand for its own currency, the dinar. By increasing the utility and demand for the dinar internationally, the nation is laying the foundation for natural value appreciation. Investors are acutely aware of these strategic moves and interpret them as a deliberate policy path toward a stronger currency. While the precise moment for a major shift remains an unknown, the sustained strategic movement toward that goal is clearly visible. Simultaneously, financial inclusion within Iraq is dramatically increasing. A growing number of Iraqi citizens are entering the formal banking system, opening new accounts and utilizing expanding digital payment networks. Furthermore, the regulation and speed of international money transfers are improving. A robust, well-regulated banking network is a prerequisite for a strong currency, as it allows the country to manage the national currency supply and demand more effectively. This growth in citizen trust in the banking system is a cornerstone of national financial stability, and Al-Rafidain Bank's central role in these digitization and inclusion efforts once again underscores its immense significance to Iraq's economic future. The specifics of the notifications that have sparked the recent excitement are subject to varied interpretations. Some sources suggest these are merely system alerts related to the rollout of new digital banking services, account verification processes, or updated payment enrollments, a standard part of a modernization drive. Conversely, others within the community believe these could be internal precursors or preparatory steps for an imminent rate adjustment, requiring customers to update details or confirm their readiness for a procedural change. The fundamental truth remains that until a formal and unambiguous declaration is made by the Central Bank of Iraq, all these interpretations are speculative. However, the intensity of this speculation is magnified when multiple individuals report observing similar, systemic changes at the same time, leading to the current, fervent community discussion. The psychology of the long-term investor is a critical factor in this dynamic. For many, the Iraqi dinar represents a future-oriented asset intrinsically linked to the full, triumphant return of Iraq to global economic prominence. As long as Iraq maintains its trajectory of economic and financial improvement, investor confidence remains robust. This confidence, born from years of belief in the nation's potential, is what powers the continuous engagement. Investors understand that monumental financial transformations rarely appear with a sudden fanfare. They are typically preceded by a series of quiet, preparatory steps behind the scenes. Therefore, the current focus is on these systemic changes, as they are seen as the most reliable indicators of internal movement. It is paramount for viewers to maintain a strong sense of personal responsibility and diligence throughout this process. All financial information should be rigorously cross-checked and verified directly against official sources. Institutions like Al-Rafidain Bank and the Central Bank of Iraq operate authorized communication channels for disseminating genuine updates on monetary policy, regulations, and banking procedures. Investors must prioritize reliable, transparent platforms over social media rumors or unverified claims to protect themselves from misinformation and potential financial scams. This channel, and others like it, provides analysis of verifiable facts and official developments, never guarantees or financial advice, and all decisions should be made with clear, rational judgment. Looky. Toward the long term, Iraq's economic potential remains immense and undeniable. The nation possesses the world's fifth largest oil reserves, a valuable asset that guarantees continuous interaction with the global economy. Furthermore, its young, dynamic population is increasingly entering a modernizing workforce, while opportunities for technological development and international trade continue to grow. Historically, nations emerging from conflict and entering a period of stability often experience significant and rapid economic expansion. If Iraq successfully continues its current upward trajectory of stability and reform, the national currency is well positioned to benefit significantly in the future, providing the foundation for the persistent optimism felt by investors today. In terms of practical steps, dinar holders are best served by remaining prepared and organized. This includes ensuring all currency is stored securely, maintaining meticulous records of all documentation, and continuously educating oneself on the mechanics of currency exchange and global financial standards. It is essential to be ready to act responsibly should an official opportunity arise, but never to base decisions on circulating rumors or unfounded hype. Patience remains the single most important asset in this investment journey. If and when a truly significant event occurs in Iraq's financial sphere, the time required to react in a measured and responsible manner will be available to those who are already prepared and well-informed. The strength of the dinar community also plays a vital role in this vigilance. By sharing verified information, discussing official updates, and offering personal experiences, the community helps one another stay more knowledgeable, confident, and resilient against misinformation. However, the critical distinction between verified fact and speculative hype must always be maintained. When any bank initiates a genuine official process related to a major currency change, that information will eventually be confirmed and disseminated through legitimate, global channels that everyone can access and trust. Therefore, the focus should remain on observing institutional preparedness and official communications. Returning to Al-Rafidain Bank, its leadership role in implementing Iraq's future economic vision is why it commands such intense interest. Due to its extensive national network and long-standing influence, the bank is often the first institution selected to pilot or roll out major new financial projects. Consequently, if significant, pre-official progress is occurring in any internal financial sector, Al-Rafidain Bank is arguably the most probable location to detect it, which explains why every technological or policy update it announces sparks massive community discussion. The Dinar community is not imagining progress. The structural transformation is real and observable, though it unfolds in a deliberate, measured fashion. Major national transformations rarely occur in a single revolutionary moment. They are built through a series of discrete decisions, policy approvals, and foundational upgrades. Iraq is clearly engaged in the methodical laying of this foundation, aiming for a future where its economy is globally respected and its currency performs strongly on the world stage. When that day ultimately arrives, observers will undoubtedly trace the success back to these seemingly small, internal steps of modernization and policy reform. For the present moment, the most intelligent strategy for investors is to maintain composure, remain alert to official announcements, and keep themselves thoroughly informed, ensuring that excitement does not override cautious, factual decision-making. Any material financial change will be communicated through official, transparent announcements, not through obscure or hidden messages. Therefore, the focus must be kept squarely on credible news sources, statements from the Iraqi government, and the definitive pronouncements of the Central Bank of Iraq. For now, there is ample reason to celebrate the tangible progress already underway. Iraq's banking system is improving, financial stability is increasing, international cooperation is strengthening, and the overall optimism regarding Iraq's economic future is robust. This positive direction and the underlying belief in the nation's potential are powerful forces that warrant close attention from every observer. The key takeaway is this: there is undeniable movement, foundational progress, and real developmental activity occurring within Iraq's financial sector today. Regardless of whether this directly leads to an immediate revaluation or whether it is part of a longer strategic road to currency strength, the direction of travel is firmly positive. That sustained, positive momentum is, in itself, a significant news story for those invested in Iraq's future. If you are tracking Iraq's economic ascendancy and remain hopeful for the future performance of the dinar, this channel is committed to monitoring every major signal, developmental update, and official announcement emanating from Iraq. Be sure to keep your notifications active so you never miss a critical piece of information. Like and share this video to help keep the community informed. And above all, remain hopeful, but always stay smart and vigilant in your approach. We will continue to track Al-Rafidain Bank and all major signals from the financial sector. If anything official is announced, you will be the first to know. Until then, remember, the transformation is happening, the future of Iraq is changing, and we are here watching it unfold with you. The final sentence of the script I provided is, if anything official is announced, you will hear about it immediately. Until then, remember, progress is happening. The future of Iraq is changing, and we are all watching it unfold.